Blessings, love. And this is my offering to the divine new moon in Scorpio that is upon us on this day. The new moon activation is an energetic portal that all sentient life on the planet called Earth have access to. As a lunar being, as an Earth being, as a starseed awakening within their human form, we are learning to be human, learning to anchor into this being and into this body. And the power of Scorpio that belongs to us all is giving us the desire to dig deeper within our being and to acknowledge our own physical perception of our human being body. In medical astrology, Scorpio rules the reproductive organs, the pelvic bowl, including the pubic bone, and the glands within the genital region, the prostate, the rectum, the urethra, the urogenital area, reproductive area, and also rules the genes, the gene code. So Scorpio truly is an access to our epigenetic imprinting and our ancestral lineage energy ball that is encased within us all. The human being has been cultured over millennia like a plant in a certain way that has completely seemingly bred all of our curiosity of ourselves out of our consciousness. And many humans are not aware of themselves in a physical form, nor are they interested in knowing themselves, and living with chronic pain, living with a detached mind from body, body dysmorphia, being at war with my physical body my entire life, ignoring physical pain perceptions, not nourishing and nurturing the physical form has affected me in so many different ways, and unwinding from cultural patterns and habits is a practice for life. Following the lunar cycle is a practice for my life. Tuning into Scorpio lunar energy is an initiation of the body, mind, soul. If you are watching and exploring and interested in what you are hearing from teachers and guides, know that the inner Scorpio within thee is enjoying this and guiding you as a spirit guide from a world beyond. Scorpio lunar energy can awaken you from the depths of the most incredible grief and sadness, the awareness of how it's even possible to anchor this sort of sorrow and despair and this hopelessness that it feel like you could just die from existing. And it's this bizarre cycle of just hopeless, apathetic energy that we have been fed for so long, and it's hard to imagine that there's purpose behind this all. And who are we asking questions to any longer? There's a lot of disillusionment and separation from the church in a lot of hearts and minds, and that leads us down a dark hallway where we feel connected to nothing. And when we don't have a reference point for our despair, it can really truly feel like we are lost and alone, unloved. Hopelessness takes over. It's a heaviness, a density. Something that Scorpio has taught me is how to hold myself at that rock bottom, and how to pick myself up from that like heavy density that makes you want to just leave this body and leave this place. And that rock bottom, that's really where I have found my true self. So I found myself through that darkness, and learning how to nourish and nurture the physical form, learning how to nourish and nurture and move the being in the body as a spiritual practice, to come back into the body, to embody the human experience, especially through grief and trauma, where our body just anchors attention and anchors at attention, hypervigilance, and feeling where our bodies feel the most tension can also feel terrifying. Paying attention to your actual body when you've been ignoring your body your entire life. Learning how to be nurturing to yourself is a practice. So we will go in and out of our wanting to be there or feeling capable of even being there, but learning how to nourish and nurture the self is part of our own heartfelt desire to evolve this heart and soul and awaken beyond the density that I've been feeling since I was a tiny little child. Knowing there is a spark, a light, a fire inside that is brighter and stronger and more persistent than any fear or any propaganda or any explosion of opinion from the other. There is something that belongs to you deep within the center portion of the heart core, the diamond seed fractal of your connection to the source energy, that makes this voice possible, that makes this breath possible, that makes this heartbeat possible. Tune into the physical form, tune into the physical body. Connecting to solar and lunar energy as one. You do not need to have Scorpio in your astrological birth chart to access, assimilate, and anchor this incredible, powerful, life-changing energy that could transform your entire life. Are you willing to awaken? Are you willing to evolve? Are you willing to emancipate yourself from the ashes of the density that you were born from? We are all starseeds awakening into new consciousness. You are the one to give meaning to your own life. You are the one to awaken yourself from your own density. You are the one to forgive yourself for the way that you've given yourself away. You knew nothing else but to do that. We were born codependent, and we are unwinding out of codependency, raising ourselves up from the darkness, honoring and learning to nourish and nurture the self as a divine seed. Scorpio truly gives you the desire to go into the darkness and into the depths and truly look at all ways that you feel like you have neglected yourself and harmed yourself and abandoned yourself, clearing yourself of resentment, learning to forgive yourself as a spiritual practice, being willing to change as a spiritual practice. I am willing to change. Are you willing to change? A beautiful practice for our own embodiment is accessing the spiritual desire to move the body within our ability. If we can only move one limb, or if we can only move our hearts and our eyes and our minds, may we engage in self-exploration from a deep heart-centered place, no longer harming ourselves with our thoughts or our behaviors or our actions or our words, and willing to look at ourselves with deep compassion for the journey that we've been on. No longer hurting ourselves, practicing, embodying self-nurturing care is a practice. It's a practice. It's a practice. So explore the physical form as a lunar ritual, as a daily ritual, as a self-healing ritual. Feeling the tension in your body, especially around the rib cage. We hold so much tension around the rib cage, so many muscles and so much connective tissue from our abdominals and our lats and our glutes and our chest anchor into our ribs and our rib cage. there is so much pain and tension and restriction and inflammation in this area of the human body at this time. Feeling your own inner thighs and the attachments of the adductor muscles and how they attach onto your pubic bone and how you touch that bone and how much pain is there, especially if you've given birth, especially if you have been harmed in this area. But even if you are just under chronic fucking stress, there is so much tension in this area. So if you even find a large handful of the soft tissues, you can really almost pull it up and up and up off of the pubic bone slowly. You can get as close as you can and almost pinch the pubic mound. All humans can do this and really just feel, you can feel into that intense tension. Often be very sharp shooting pain feeling at the muscular and fascial attachments at the center of the pubic bone. Sometimes you can feel energy shoot up your spine and out your arms, even just rubbing this area. Connecting to the tension and how we feel about our bodies. Scorpio, that divine water sign, loves the dark depths, expansive. Pushing into the center of the quadriceps, even into the center of the groin muscles, the adductors, all along the center portion of your thigh. You can really feel the muscular attachments and all of the tension that's holding in your groin muscles and how that tension attaches to your pubic bone and how that tension is transmitted into your pelvic bowl because it's attaching to the same areas that your pelvic diaphragm, pelvic floor muscles are. Creating this, there's just so much tension that's holding. What is the tension? Why is my body holding tension? Really considering muscular tension is a divine thought. What is tension? What is this body? How can it carry this much pain and this much tension? You know, there's the shadow aspects of Scorpio that hides everything and stuffs everything down into its bones, stuffs everything into the bowl. Think of when you have these most eruptive emotional experiences, especially as a child, and you were told to not cry, or you were hit, or you were rejected, or someone ignored you, or there's so many pathological, painful ways that humans treat children in their reactive, triggered inner child mode, and it's what we're learning to unwind from by acknowledging it and telling our stories and demonstrating ways of moving energy and feeling safe to express the self. And it really hasn't been safe for so many people and continues to not be safe for many other people. We have to demonstrate our self-nurturing so we can remember ourselves out of this density. Where's the tightest part of your body? What needs your deep care? Where would you like to learn how to nurture yourself? Who taught you how to harm yourself? Are you willing to learn to love yourself? May the power of Scorpio, lunar and solar energy enter into me. Call the power of that light into this body. Feel your heart. Feel your solar plexus. Call the light into your third eye. Open the voice. Open the mind. Call the energy into the entire body channel. Flood the entire body with light. Be willing to hold space for every eruption and every emotion with deep loving care. Scorpio gives you the power and the strength and the courage to hold yourself with deep nurturing love.